All right, welcome to the first episode of Dorm Talk with Chris and John. I am your
Hello.
host. I am your host, John, with my co-host Chris. What's up, Chris? How we doing today? Tonight?
We're doing pretty good, pretty good. This is our first official episode of Media Talks, so I'm really happy to do it with the best podcaster I know.
Honored. I'm really psyched to like have a show with a co-host because I've enjoyed like doing sports media and making videos, but being able to bounce ideas off each other and have commentary, it brings it to a whole nother level. So I'm really stoked for it. So if we're going to jump right into sports, your OKC Thunder are in the NBA Finals. Game two is going on now, so we're not gonna dive too much into it. Maybe next week when we see the series will be well into it. Next episode, but um, we just kind of talk about what you see from, I guess, the game one and then the first half of game two right here. How you're kind of feeling about your Thunder?
Okay, so obviously game one ended on a really sour note. I'll say that. If you're a Thunder fan, it's a really familiar experience. Um, you know, we're not we're pretty used to seeing superstar point guards hit crap like that to send us home. It's not the first time it's happened,
Dang,
and it's
with
not gonna be
Mike
the
Breen on the
last time.
call too, man.
I I was telling myself in my head, I was like, man, Mike Breen's gonna like make me cry this series.
Mike Breen keeps up like. Thank God he didn't. For your sake, he messed up not saying bang.
Honestly, apparently he saves it for threes, which is
Apparently, this in this game I saw like the first three Halliburton made. He said bang to it. He said I owed him that one.
uh yeah. Come on, man. It doesn't hit the same.
I think the funniest non basketball point of the finals has been like the lack of the trophy and anything saying finals.
Yeah.
And then this final start, and they put like a projected image of two of the Larry O'Brien trophies. It was the most like here damn,
Mm.
um,
Here,
like
I'll say it for you. Here, nigga, damn.
it's like it's like yeah, y'all been crying on Twitter all week. It's like here you go. It's like man, we just like it's not even too much to ask for. It's like it's crazy that like you if the scoreboard was not there, you would have no idea it's the finals.
Yeah. It looks like so much like a regular game. Like the fact that the in-season tournament looks better than this is absolutely
It's
ridiculous.
if it wasn't at OKC or Indianapolis where they have the shirts and like you wouldn't know it was a playoff game.
Yeah. Like,
And
thank God we have two teams with such high playoff atmospheres.
like and they're the two small markets that everyone was complaining about, which leads me to it's like everyone complained about the matchup being two small markets, no superstars, even though there's like probably two um in this series. Like Shea's definitely one. I think Tyrese has established himself as one of those guys just because of what he's done this playoffs.
Mhm.
Um, but the product has been like one of the better playoff products I've seen in my lifetime. Like this playoffs has been insane, like
Yeah,
unpredictable. We're really getting parity in the sport, which is insane.
exactly.
And then ESPN delivers a lousy product, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. You knew they were so waiting for like a familiar face in these conference finals and then another familiar face in these finals. And it's like you could
it's
tell just how bad sports journalism has become because they can't rely on the same narratives they've been using for years.
exactly, and it's like when you had guys like I know Mark Jackson was in like hot water, and that's why he like eventually was like, but like I was watching clips of like the with LeBron against Boston, and then like every time they would go to commercial break, Mark Jackson would do his little dialogue, and he go like the "Mama, there goes that man," and then you go to the commercial break, and then that would like that stuff is like chills, man.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't like I like Richard Jefferson. I think I like I've been liking his analysis, and for the most part, like Doris Burke, she said some wild stuff, but for the most part, like she
She
knows her basketball.
she's been funny with some of the stuff she says. I think she's definitely overhated though. I don't think she's as bad as
I
people
think she's
say.
overhated.
Like,
Yeah, it's like the only reason I have personal gripes about her is because she hates Embiid for whatever reason. She just can't
she
stand
doesn't like
Embiid.
him or the Thunder, so it's been it's been kind of funny to see that.
Yeah, it's hard to like stick up for. It's like, well, I mean, but
So
it's been a lot of probably too much hate on Doris.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. She's nowhere
but
near
yeah,
the worst we've seen.
so yeah, back to basketball, I guess a little bit. I clearly they're doing better right now, and Chet's shooting better. But
Mhm.
like, are you concerned in this series about because the Thunder already don't have like the greatest 3-point shooting?
Yeah.
Like they're one of the worst of these playoffs. Are you concerned about moments that they go stagnant in the offense, playing at such a fast pace and such a offensive efficient team like the Pacers do? Are you concerned for the rest of the series of them going stagnant for like 5 minutes and then Pacers running it up?
Um, that is a really good question. It's weird because, back in the regular season, they were one of like the greatest three-point shooting teams we've seen in a while. Like it was
Yeah,
like everybody there was shooting like 40% from three, which
right.
obviously we all knew wasn't going to be sustainable in the playoffs, especially your bench guys that just aren't built for these moments. Looking
Yeah,
at Isaiah Joe, especially sometimes, he's been
he's been
very,
so off and on,
it's
more
so
off
weird.
than on.
Yeah. And I definitely do have my worries because at times when the offense doesn't just run through Shea, when it doesn't just run through him getting an ISO in the middle and making a play, it does just
Hmm.
seem like we go minutes of just stagnant back and forth, like nothing good happening. Which
Yeah,
was always my worry with the heavy Jade up minutes where he was the main
right.
ball handler. But I also think it's a matter of we've seen it happen in I'd say each and every round that they've played. Like we've seen
Yeah.
them have like their bad games in like the first two or in the first like what games one or two, or maybe even game three, and then they kind of just click by the end of
Yeah.
it, which is why they've been so good in their closeout games, all playoffs. So I definitely do have my worries, but I
Hmm.
also think this is a team that's like gotten better over the time.
Yeah, they're definitely a team where it's like when they do, and I think they're going to do it here. They're up 57-39 right now.
Mhm.
They're a team that's like when they mess up, they're like, okay, guys, we are so much better than this because they're really like a
Exactly.
historically great team, like
Exactly.
on both sides of the ball, and so I feel like they're a team like when they do stupid stuff, like game one and like they did with getting blown up by the Timberwolves, which
Yeah.
was such a fluke. They're able to just like to just lock in and be like, yeah,
Exactly.
this is not us. This is like, what are we doing? And I think that is what people always like try to like doubt them,
Mhm.
calling them like a young team. It's like, oh well, no experience. I'm like, well, they're showing a lot of maturity, being able to, because like, who can really get blown out in these games like this or lose in the way that they do?
Mhm.
Like the Aaron Gordon game winners, the Tyrese Halliburton,
Mhm.
and be able to just like flip it on its head and completely change the trajectory of the series, which is why I wasn't concerned too much, but I was concerned about the shooting being stagnant because it only takes a short time run for the Pacers to be right back in the games.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I also think a lot of it too that people were missing was rewatching that game. There was just so many just easy looks they just missed. It was like so
Yeah,
simple as the fact that like you saw like J-Dub and Chet both like miss a bunch of like easy layups, wide open threes, obviously. You know what I'm saying? SJ had some shots. Well, SJ didn't have really many missed shots, but it was
you
like some of the
he
ones he did.
tried.
But it was like some
Yeah,
of the ones, it's like obviously those go in like 99% of the time anyways. So it's never in my eyes like a thing of like, oh, I'm really worried about this offense. I'm just worried about are they gonna hit their shots or not? That's kind
yeah,
of always that's the kind of what it's always been with Jada, especially these playoffs. It's like he gets good looks. It's just a matter of him finishing.
yeah. And it's like, and you don't expect guys like J Dub and Chet to be that bad
Exactly.
like they
Like
were
Chet
day
had his
one.
worst game these playoffs.
Yeah,
Game one. He had what, 6 points? Worst game easily.
something like that. Yeah, it was. I could probably look, but
Yeah.
while I'm doing that, my favorite player this playoffs to watch that's not like a superstar has been Alex Caruso.
Mm.
Um, I think just like how he constantly is like always at the ball, and he like reminds me of like a really good safety. Like he's like
Yeah.
as soon as like there's contact with the ball, he is in there. He's stripping the ball out. He is getting these turnovers, creating these fast break plays, which matches them up with the speed of the Pacers.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just been so entertaining to see him just kind of like I don't know, like put on defensive clinics,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's been awesome. And yeah, Chet had 6 points.
Yep. He already has 11 points.
Yeah,
And
he's
this,
good. He's
so,
alright.
it's just stuff like that. It's never like a thing of, in my eyes, being like, oh, this Thunder offense is too stagnant, or oh, this team is like, it doesn't seem like they're ready for this matchup. Because
Yeah.
I always said, I've been thinking for a while that the Pacers are the one team in the playoffs that match up very well against the Thunder.
Yeah.
But
The only
as far as star power goes, it's like SGA is like so much better than anybody else there. And then while I think obviously Siakam is better than Jada or Chet, that gap between top dog and then everybody else makes up for it anyways.
yeah. And I think just like yes, Halliburton made that shot game one and he had the fourth quarter he had, but he was not good
Yeah,
game one.
no,
And I think it's like the difference of um who's guarding him in the past series and now every time he's touching the ball, he's getting an all NBA defender on him.
exactly.
No matter what the switch is, he he's getting an all NBA defensive caliber player, whether it's Caruso, whether it's Dort, if SGA has to switch on him. Like either of these guys, it's like it's Alcatraz for him. And it's been shown, it's like he's just a unbelievably clutch player where he gets where he needs to be at the moment.
Yeah,
But the whole game, he was not good.
yeah, he had finished with 14 points. Like if he misses that shot or if the Thunder just perform better down the stretch, we're looking at it like, man,
Conversations
how
are very different.
exactly? Like we're talking
Very
about like
different.
how is he gonna show up against this OKC defense? It's just historically, you know, like top five.
I started this episode saying Halliburton was like a superstar. I was a little hesitant because it's like he's had these games all throughout the playoffs. It's like yeah, he's had the moments, but he's also had the first three quarters which have been bad.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that really takes away from him, but it's like it's he's a strange player to evaluate when you're talking
Hmm.
about like the top players in the league, and I think that'll be interesting once the season is all over. Just looking back at his season versus all the other point guards, I think he's like a top five for sure point guard of the league.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll definitely have to look at that because it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts on the series before we
Um,
jump into some football?
OKC in five.
Okay,
But
see if listen, let's like I'm pulling for the Thunder because I want you having two championships in the first 6 months of the year is
oh my
insane.
God. I'd be
Um,
so insufferable.
listen, as you should, man. I mean, like, how often does that happen?
Yeah.
Um, like the closest I got to that was like I think it was like the Eagles and Villanova won like the same year,
Yeah.
and like even that's a little sketchy. Like,
Yeah. It's like,
am I really like a hardcore Villanova fan? I like that team a lot, but
yeah.
um, but yeah, but the basketball fan in me wants to see this in seven.
Yeah.
Um, so I think either way, it's gonna be good basketball.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, all right. So this episode, we're going to go into our top 10 NFL quarterbacks. We've been deliberating over our top 10 list all week. I'm gonna preface by there are some spots where like, am I sure about the spot or
Yeah.
am I? Because I think we were talking before the episode there's a lot of talent at the quarterback position, but there's also been a lot of underperformance in the quarterback position.
Exactly.
Because if you look at where the quarterbacks were projected, like last year to where they are now, like Trevor Lawrence was like a generational quarterback prospect. Now he's a good quarterback,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like he's gonna be a lot better now. He is like a really good play caller. As his head coach, he has Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter in his wide
Hmm.
receiver core. Um, I think he's gonna be better, but it's like what he's was projected to be and what he has shown us has been different,
Different.
right?
Yeah.
Guys like Anthony Richardson, who we thought like with like first flashes of his rookie year, were like this guy
This
could be
could be the
it.
next like 2015 Cam Newton we could be thinking of.
Yeah, now we're like, is he gonna be in the league at the end of the
Yeah.
year? Like we're like having like Daniel Jones is in competition with him in Colts camp. Like these are the
Like,
conversations we are having now, and so it's so and like now Aaron Rodgers just signed with the Steelers, and it's like 2 years ago we're like, oh, he's still a top 10 quarterback maybe, but now he's like, it's like he might put up good numbers, but man, he dropped the highlight tape with him and DK working out, and he looked slow. I
I
mean,
actually didn't even watch it yet. I
if you look slow in off-season workouts when you're like he was at like UCLA field. If you look slow there, man,
oh no. I mean, we kind of see this coming. Like I even said, I was like, I just don't view him as even a good QB at this point anymore.
it's like last year, like his when if you look at his numbers, it's like okay, he was okay, right?
Yeah.
But the play creation is gone with
Yeah.
Rodgers. It's gone. Like,
It's
and that's what made him so good
hmm
because not only could he get the ball fast, not only did he have a crazy arm and he was crazy accurate, he could move. He wasn't like
we weren't
Lamar
seeing him as
Jackson,
like Lamar Jackson or Vic or anything, but
but like his ability to improvise and to get out of pocket and to just create plays beyond what they should be created. That's why he's had so many Hail Marys because he's been able to extend those plays and give himself good looks
mhm,
because that's what made him so good. And it's like peak for peak, like he was a better quarterback talent than Tom Brady, but like obviously we know Tom Brady's better
Tom
just
Brady.
because. But like
Yeah.
as far as like physical like attributes, he was like the more talented guy.
Yeah.
So he was like that. That element made him that good. And now it's like, okay, he's really smart. He can get the ball out quick, but his mobility's shot.
His mobility is just he just
So it's like,
can't do it.
are they going to be better than they were last year in offense? Maybe,
I mean,
maybe.
probably
He Russell Wilson couldn't use the middle of the field at all. Like
exactly.
he's just short. So you're going to have that open a little bit, I guess. But I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, so that's what makes these talks complicated is because like a lot of guys like you think would be good, like Tua, he's not
Hmm.
even in my honorable mentions.
Really?
He's not.
Mm.
At
How many people do you have in your honorable mentions?
I have he'd probably be right outside what I have, but I have five honorable mentions.
Yeah. Yeah. Around the same here.
All right, so we'll do you want to start with that? Do we just want to list off our honorable mentions, talk about them a
Yeah.
little bit?
Yeah. Oh man.
Let
I don't even feel good looking at some of them. It's so weird.
listen, man. It's either gonna be good or it's gonna be good content, right? So
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good content.
either one. I think either way is a win. So, who are your honorable mentions for?
Okay.
And to preface, these are coming into next season who we
Hmm.
think are the top. This isn't like all. We're not looking at resumes a little bit. Like I think we both think playoff success matters.
Hmm.
Like you have to show me that you've been able to win in playoff games. But that's more like I need to
Yeah.
know that coming to the season, I have winners in my top 10.
Exactly.
So that being said, let's hear your honorable mentions.
Okay. So my honorable mentions going in are gonna be Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray. Yeah, man. It feels so weird to say this last one, but it's going to be a tie between Jared Goff and Justin Herbert. One of them is going to be in the top 10, but the other
Herbert's
one
off your
isn't.
top.
Look, it's like honestly,
Wait, please talk.
I might lean towards more Jared Goff being in that honorable mention spot than
Oh,
Herbert.
Oh, so you have Herbert like borderline 10?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
mean, yeah, I
okay,
don't
okay,
have
okay.
10 guys that I could say are confident, like, oh, they're above him.
Okay,
But like, I'd be
okay,
probably more inclined to put him over Goff going into next season
okay.
because I
All
think
right, well,
he's still going to be able to get better.
yeah, yeah. I think that talent's definitely undeniable. So, okay, so for my honorable mention, I forgot about Jordan Love. I just
Really?
so I'm sliding him in there. He's definitely like he's firmly in my like he's right. So like, all right. So no particular order, but a little bit of order. You know, I have Dak,
Hmm.
Jordan Love,
Hmm.
Jared Goff, Geno Smith, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield.
Mm, really? Okay.
So Baker Mayfield, he's not like he's definitely like a product of his system a little bit because I mean like he's he has games where he looks awful
Hmm.
and he has games where he just looks sick and he looks
Yeah.
like um but he's not someone like I firmly trust to be a top 10, but he also had
Right.
40 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
And so like he can produce. So I got to give him some love.
Yeah.
Geno Smith has been getting a lot of top 10 talk. Um and
Yeah.
I think he's really good.
Mhm.
I do. And I think how he performed behind that terrible Seattle offensive line
Yeah.
was really good. But I just have a hard time um, finding someone that I would put him above in that top 10
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Um, and he's 36. So it's
Oh my
like
God. Is oh
he's
my
like
God.
he's like up there.
Oh my.
Um,
He feels way younger, but yeah, he's been in the league for a while now.
forever.
Like
Yeah, Geno Smith is 34. He's 34.
yeah. I remember using him as like a backup QB in Madden 16, so yeah, he's been in here for a while.
He broke his jaw. Someone broke his jaw. The Jets. That was that.
You know, it's not even his fault. He went to the Jets. It's like that's just where QBs go to die.
Yep. And when you're there to start, it's not great.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I want to give some love to what Sam Darnold did this year.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
have him in
shout out
my
Sam.
honorable mentions, just because I feel like the way like he had a really good supporting cast, but the way he
Hmm.
handles pressure, especially we saw in the playoff game, is horrible.
Yeah.
Um, and if he performs well this year in Seattle, I think I'm definitely gonna have more respect for him. Like up here, but like you'd have to do that again.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't see it honestly.
I don't either. I think like he's gonna start this whole year. I don't think he's getting
Yeah,
benched for
yeah, yeah.
Milrow middle of the year kind of.
He's definitely gonna start. Yeah.
But like I don't see them making serious noise. I was having a conversation before this episode about Trevor Lawrence and Baker Mayfield,
Hmm.
and it's like, okay, Trevor's underperformed, and you could say a lot about his surrounding cast and his coaching. And then you can say Baker Mayfield, and you can say a lot about his production with his weapons and his coaching.
Hmm.
Well, now Trevor Lawrence is having Baker Mayfield's play caller as his head coach,
Mm.
and now he's having, as we said, uh, you have the wide receiver core of Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter. You're having a far better supporting cast.
Exactly.
So it's like if you underperform and Baker overperforms, then it's like more
Yeah.
conversations have to happen because now you have like his situation, right?
Exactly.
Um, so but I also think Baker's also gonna have a good year just because of his supporting cast.
Yeah.
But okay, do you want to start with number 10?
Oh, yep, 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 yep. So, I mean, I guess I already made this like known, but my number 10 is Justin Herbert.
All right.
I have John will tell you I am routinely like a very big like anti Justin Herbert guy. You know, I think obviously he's very talented. Like we've seen the arm talent. We've seen him have like one of the best rookie QB seasons like ever. Like not even
Yeah.
just best rookie QB seasons, like one of the best rookie campaigns we've ever seen. Obviously,
Yeah.
we've seen him have like the crazy arm talent. The Chargers, obviously, outside of their defense this year, just not that good of a team. You know,
Right.
his his supporting cast have not been the best, and that's like been a big thing why people have always been able to give him more flowers because he's still been able to perform. But
Yeah,
my thing
and
is, it's like, especially just coming off now, this is his second playoff performance where he's just obviously some of the interceptions obviously weren't his fault, but it's like at a certain point, I can't keep giving you more and more flowers. You can't keep not giving you flack
yeah,
when you're just not performing in the biggest games.
yeah. It's like his numbers are always gonna be good. He always has, he had 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions this year. Um,
Mhm.
it's like he's great with the ball, except in the playoffs. Where I also like we talk like this playoff game where he threw 4 picks, inexcusable. It was terrible.
Exactly.
The 27-0 was less his fault more than they couldn't run the ball and their defense imploded.
Yeah,
Um, but it's like playoff success matters, and when you have guys like Burrow and Hurts who are in that draft class and who are like proven success, like um, I mean even Hurts his rookie year, not the first year he started, not his rookie year, his sophomore
mhm.
year. That team was Jalen Rager was his wide receiver too, and
Exactly.
he took that team to the playoffs. Um, so it's like talent matters, but at the same time, we gotta at some point we gotta look at you face value, and we gotta say what you're giving us.
Yeah,
I don't have Herbert this quite low, but I do when I'm making lists like these, I'm valuing your ability to win. Um,
yeah,
and it's interesting when we get in the top five because there are guys that are in the top five that have struggled in the playoffs.
right.
So it's an interesting conversation, but I understand the criticism of Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
Um,
he's an interesting case because it's like you see people put him top five, obviously, but you also see people leave him just out of the top 10. And
yeah,
it's like it's such a weird thing because I really can't like not agree when I see people put him in like top five, top six, top seven conversations in my eyes because he
talent.
does have the talent.
First of all, he's like 6'5", right? No, he's
Yeah,
6'6".
yeah.
He's 6'6". He has an insane arm. He's super accurate. He can move.
Hmm.
He's just a tank. And like when you look at him as like a prospect as a player, he's like up there as far as quarterback talents in the league. Um, and he's one of those guys. If he makes a run to the Super Bowl this year, it's like okay,
Then all of a sudden,
here we go.
I'll put him there.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I just I know it feels like it's such a hater thing to do, especially looking at
Hmm.
some of the guys I put above him. Like because especially going into next season, as I said, I do think he'll be better,
Yeah,
obviously, but I just want him to show. I think this is my prove it year for him. This is my
yeah,
like go get it year because he has the talent and like he has that talent to be like him and Jaden Daniels be like, oh yeah, they're in that top five echelon, you know.
yeah. And man, Ladd McConkey is no scrub.
He's
So
nice.
I mean, like, and now they draft a running back out of North
Yeah.
Carolina. I'm blanking on his name, but I mean they're gonna have a run game.
Hmm.
Harbaugh is gonna run a well coached team.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, that defense looks really good.
Mm.
Um, so it's excuses are gonna stop being run out, and it's like the division's getting better. So like the Broncos, their defense looks they're gonna be the best defense in the league.
Yeah. And they got their
Like
QB for the future now to go along with it.
yeah,
Yeah. No.
Bo Nix will not be on my top 10. Um,
Don't worry. Yeah, I didn't expect him.
yeah, with Bo Nix is like some of the plays I'm like, oh I see it in there, but then
Mhm. That Cincinnati game, like that really opened my eyes for him.
yeah
It's
I think he could be really good. But well we'll see. I'm rooting for him for sure. I like him.
oh yeah.
He seems like he's a talented guy and a good dude. So my number 10, Kyler Murray is my number 10.
Oh my gosh. You and this man.
Listen,
Oh.
let me get
I
on my
knew it too.
soapbox
Oh, I knew
for
it.
Kyler Murray real quick. All right.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray is my number 10. And I know we talk about availability being the best ability, and I know he's been hurt a lot. But when he's on the field, and I think the Cardinals are gonna be like really surprisingly good this year, just
Hmm.
because of like, you know, they have like possibly the best tight end in the league in Trey
Yeah,
McBride. They have Marvin Harrison, who
yeah,
everyone was quick to jump, like was to hate on him quick because I don't know how he handled the draft process, and we're quick to like love Malik
yeah.
Neighbors. That like we ignored that. Marv had a really good
He
season.
had a great season. I think people expected him to be like Jamar Chase immediately, which was
Yeah, they
like,
expect him to be because like he was really one of the best wide receiver prospects we've seen,
yeah,
and his dad is Marvin Harrison.
yeah,
So it's like there was two things working against him, which didn't give him much flack, and then there was the whole like whenever you're like a pure unlikable, it doesn't help your case. So when there was a thing
mhm,
with like he didn't sign his like player like allowing to people to wear jerseys with his name on it, and like he didn't sign that deal until like a week, like a month ago.
oh,
Um, So
yeah.
like you can buy a Marv jersey until this year. Um so it's
So
just like
funny.
little stuff like that that like makes people be like turned off by a player, and it's like kind of like ignore what their production is. But all that to say is when we've seen Kyler Murray have like when he had a year when he had a full season and they
Mhm.
started like 10-1, they had D Hop still in his prime, and he was doing like amazing things. Like his ability to extend plays is up there with Lamar Jackson, is up there
Yeah,
with um, Josh Allen. Like his ability to he's Justin Fields who can throw, right?
yeah.
Like he's and it's like there's a joke that he runs like a kid stealing candy from a candy store. Like
I don't know if it's a
because
joke. It might it might just be true.
and it's but like I put success weighs a lot
Hmm.
into how I put these lists, but talent that you have matters a lot to me too, which is why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt
Hmm.
and giving him a top 10. And I know this is not what we're supposed to be doing, but I'm projecting that this year he's gonna play like a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah,
Um, he wasn't fully healthy next last season. Um, the year he had the blunder in the playoffs, he just came back from an injury, so it's like
yeah.
maybe he's still rusty. I don't know. Maybe I'm making excuses for him.
Hmm.
I probably am, but I'm such a big fan of his play style, and he's so fun to watch. And like as far as talent as a quarterback, he's a top 10 talent, and I firmly believe that.
Yeah,
And I think that he's gonna show that he belongs in these conversations. And I'm definitely I'm betting on that production this year.
yeah. I can agree with that.
All right,
Okay.
who is your number 9?
My number nine is your favorite QB in the league, Baker Mayfield.
9 Baker Mayfield. Okay.
Baker
I
Mayfield.
kind of thought he was going to make your list, but go ahead.
No, no. You know, it's funny because I remember when we were drafting our top 10 QBs, I actually forgot about him on my initial list. And I remember I was
Uh-huh.
like staring at my list, like just thinking, I'm like, I'm forgetting somebody, but I don't remember who. And I feel like that's kind of like what people think about Baker Mayfield in general. You know, I feel like people either think of him as like right there with Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and all of them,
I've seen him as
or
far as like 5, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah, I see that. I see that a lot, and it's like I I don't agree with that obviously, but I think the talent is just there as far as he goes. I've seen him personally like put my Eagles on their ass before.
yeah.
We but I think it's also just like seeing obviously he does have a great supporting cast.
Hmm.
Like people don't talk about that offense a lot, I feel like, for how
It's
good it is.
insane.
It's like kind of ridiculous just how good that offense is.
And it's like offensive line too. It's like Tristan Wirfs. Like other than Lane Johnson, he's the best tackle in the league. Like he's
Exactly. Like,
ridiculous. Hmm.
but I think but the fact is he's been able to perform. like exceptionally well each year. I'm definitely a little biased because I was like a big fan of his story too, you know, because it was
Yeah,
like so crazy when we saw him like obviously leave the Browns,
like
and then
in 10 years, seeing pictures of him on the Panthers is gonna be like, whoa.
whoa, right? It's like, oh my God. Like, and then that I forgot who we played against. Was he on the Rams?
That he was on the one game he got signed for the Rams and he had to learn the playbook
Eh,
on the plane and then he had
yeah,
a
and then he had
Christmas
the
Day.
yeah, yeah. It was like
Yeah,
it just kind of felt like, like a fairy tale type of story. And it was like it's like one of those stories that make you want to cheer for the guy already. And then obviously just watching him play, the talent's there. I was he's not perfect, but he can put the ball in the end
there
zone.
are games where he looks like a top 10 quarterback, but
Hmm.
then there are games where he looks like a bottom 20, like legit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's tough, but yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I just there and I know he has numbers and I know he's been to the playoffs and I know he's even won some playoff games. So
Yeah.
it's weird. It's just like I don't know. He doesn't have that like game changing ability that a lot of these guys have to like
Okay.
absolutely control the team when it
Hmm.
matters, you know? Um but yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. Certainly
Yeah.
rooting for him. My nine is CJ Stroud. Um
I respect
I
that.
his rookie year was exceptional. And sophomore slumps are very common,
Mhm.
but I really don't think it was a dip in his talent. Like obviously he struggled,
Yeah.
but that offensive line
Fine is
was genuinely horrible.
horrible.
And losing Tank Dell and losing Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins for half the season. His wide receiver core, which was supposed to be really good, just
Hmm.
wasn't.
It was just wasn't.
And
And then the injuries, obviously.
yeah, yeah. The game against the Chiefs, I think it was a Black Friday game or something. He was going toe to toe with Mahomes, and he looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Tank Dell had that horrible injury where he like his knee exploded in like three places.
Yeah.
From that injury happening to the rest of the game, he looked like a different quarterback. Like
Hmm.
his headspace was shot, and I think that was just the whole year. It's like he went from like his all time confidence to
Hmm.
just nothing. And then they like limp into the playoffs, and then he wins the game where he was the underdog,
Hmm.
and like obviously that was like
It was the
Derek Stingley
defense.
put that team.
Yeah.
Derek Stingley, like when we do quarterback rankings, Derek Stingley's gonna be right up there. Um, he he had like a few picks himself, and it's just like that was a lot of it. But he
Hmm.
was able to bounce back, and I think as far as talent concerned, he's a top 10 talent, and um, if he played like he did his rookie year, he would be flirting with the top five. Like
Yeah.
so, it's like obviously they taxed him a little, dropping him to nine, but some people have him right out, and I'm just not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe in him. I believe in him
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So that is my number nine. I don't know if you had anything to add about CJ or if you have
Uh,
him further in your list, but or you can go to your number eight.
well, actually, I'm gonna go to my number 8 because it plays directly what you just did. My number 8 is CJ Stroud.
See, I kind of I had a feeling. Okay,
Yeah. Uh, I moved him like last minute above Baker. It
okay,
was it was especially because we're projecting
yeah,
for next season, and as you know, I've been big on CJ Stroud since like the beginning of his rookie year
yeah,
because he's just been an elite QB in my eyes since he entered the league. He's had the passing numbers still, even with this down year, he still has had pretty damn good numbers.
hmm
Um, and obviously we saw, you know, with everything that was happening, the offensive line, the wide receiver injuries, and it still
hmm
felt like even in their playoff game against the Chiefs, like I know it was like we all knew the Chiefs were gonna win, but it didn't feel like it was like so much of a blowout. It felt like there was like at times in my eyes there was still like a chance.
Yeah,
Yep.
I feel like it was one of those where it was
It's
like
like,
close but not close
yeah,
but not. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
close but not. And it was like I felt like if that Texans team gets like another chance, they would, you know, they could actually potentially have an upset there. But outside of that, it's just I've been very big on, even with I remember there was a point in time where I despised him because I took him as my number one QB on fantasy. And
The fantasy tax always do
oh my
it.
God. And it was like it was hard watching him go every week just be horrible. And then at a certain point
Yeah.
just saying fuck it, just starting Kirk Cousins. That was definitely like that was definitely my low point as far as that goes.
Atlanta Kirk Cousins is crazy.
Oh my God. Just relying on the most inconsistent man on the planet in him.
Mr. Monday Night himself.
Oh man. It's just but yeah, I'm still very big on CJ and especially
Yeah.
since it's going to next season with him having what he has Mekhi Becton on that offensive line now.
He went to the Chargers. Mackay went to the Chargers.
I'm tripping. Who did they picked
We
up somebody
traded
else?
for their offensive lineman.
Yeah.
So there wasn't their offensive line is very bad.
Wow. Wow, did they not? I
Yeah,
swore I could have sworn they picked up somebody else. But even if they haven't changed, even without that, I still do see a lot. I still do see him making some waves. I still see him
yeah,
as like one of those guys. Like his rookie QB season, I feel like that always tells you a lot about a QB because it's like obviously people like to say like, oh, teams can't scheme against him and you can't like scheme against him in their rookie year because they don't
yeah.
have just that much footage going. But I also
And
think it's like
it's such a dense argument too, because it's not like you're acting like the quarterback can't adapt either.
exactly
Like he's
like
gonna learn more defenses too and how to play against more defenses. I just feel like it's gonna be rough, but like the talent is there. And as we were saying, like CJ is gonna learn more about defenses, learn more how to read a defense. He's gonna adjust. They'll have a more set wide receiver core. I think they drafted some people. I have to look back at that, but I Nico Collins is a top 10 wide receiver. I think. Um, just what he's able to do.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
He's just a beast. He's a monster. Like he's big and he's
Hmm.
fast and he's just like he's a bully. So I think having him as your wide receiver one, it gives you a good floor as a weapon. And they signed Nick Chubb today,
Oh
so
yeah.
who knows
What?
what Nick
Yo,
Nick
when did
Chubb.
that news drop?
It drops so randomly. So they have Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon in their backfield.
Oh my God, that's kind of busted. Whoa.
In 2019, this would be the most insane backfield of all time.
2019, I'd have did a backflip on camera.
I pick up go to the Super Bowl with this. Um, but but yeah, so I mean, Joe Mixon also had a good year.
Hmm.
So it's not like they didn't have a run game, but
Yeah,
hopefully that they'll be more set and they figure out this offensive line thing at least a little bit because it was bad. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, that's your number 8. So my number 8
Yes.
is going to be Jaden Daniels.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Um, and I
Wow,
can't tell
okay.
if that's like a wow, that's really high or that's really low.
That's
Um,
low in my eyes. I think
okay.
that's low in like most people's eyes actually. Not even like just mine.
Probably, probably. Um, it's definitely like, you know, there's always this argument, and I don't want this to be my argument, but it's like with Jalen, it's like, oh, I need to see him do it another year. I need to see him do it another year.
Hmm.
And with like CJ, it was like I need to see him do another year. With
Hmm.
um with uh, with Daniels, I need to see him doing another year. Um,
Okay, I respect that.
and I really like him. I think he definitely has a top 5 potential.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as like who I have above him, um, he's got to do it again because it's
Yeah.
like his performance in the playoffs were great, right? But it's like you played the Buccaneers, and then the Lions team he played, that defense was practice
Yeah.
squad players,
Right.
and Goff threw 4 picks, and it's like not saying they didn't deserve to be where they be. Like that's just how
Hmm.
football works.
Hmm.
But I'm not gonna put him as like this like unbelievable playoff performer. when it's 1 year, and cracking the top 10 in your first year is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people are gonna say be insulting Jay Daniels, and it's like I genuinely think he's a great quarterback, and I genuinely think like I think he's a quarterback that's like less prone to a sophomore slump than most are,
Hmm.
just because of his like even when he's not passing great, he's such a good improviser
Yeah.
that he can make things happen. And kind of figure it out even when he's not in his strong stretches. Because like there was a stretch where he had his hip injury, and it's like they were like a lot worse, and that's where they kind of lost ground to the Eagles in division race.
Hmm.
Um, but he still held them afloat, and they were still able to recover. They didn't
Exactly.
bottom out because he was able to like keep him in these things. So I
Hmm.
think he's tremendous. I think his I feel like coming out of college, we were scared about his size
Yeah.
and how he loves to throw himself into danger, which he does.
Yeah.
But I think his ability to escape that danger has overcome it a little bit. His arm's been crazy. He has the clutch gene, simple as that. 'Cause how many times have we seen games where I mean he's the Tyrese Halliburton of the NFL.
Oh my God.
But like I mean like as a passer, as a game manager, he has those qualities, and I think he's really good. And he's at number 8, but next year he'll probably be 5,
Yeah.
and then we'll just go from there. So it's
Kick
nothing
Joe
bad. I
Burrow
have
out. I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing.
He's gonna have to do a lot of work for that from me, man.
No, I'm playing. But
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, that's where I have Jane Daniels at. Shout out Jane
Yeah.
Daniels. I was a big
Yeah.
fan of him coming out of college. I
Hmm.
loved him at LSU. I think he was exciting. I was bummed when he went to Washington, and bummed to find out that once Washington became good, that they had the worst fan base of all time. Um,
Yeah.
cause like you didn't hear from them, and then they got good. It's like wow, y'all suck, man.
It's like, oh my
Y'all
God.
are
It's been the Eagles and Cowboys so long that it's just like, oh
like I
man.
almost like it's like the Dallas rivalry started kicking back up a little bit now that the new season
Mhm.
started. Like, man, I forgot how much I hate you guys because it was just overshadowed by the Commanders fans. Because man,
Yeah, man.
they were just. I'm like, I cannot believe he's on that team, man.
I
It just makes me
know.
so upset
He'd
because
be
he
like my
he's
favorite player if he just
oh
wasn't on the
unbelievable.
Commanders. Him and Malik Neighbors, if they weren't on the teams that they were on, God,
Oh
he'd be so cool.
yeah,
So cool.
game over, man. All right, so that's my number 8. What is your number 7?
Woo, my number seven. It is the guy Matthew Stafford.
Oh well, that is also I'll say that's also my 7.
Okay, cool.
So we can just talk about
the
Stafford.
fuck is your six? Okay.
Oh man, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love
Oh
it.
my God. Oh man. I'm not gonna think about that. Matthew Stafford, man. Since this is projected into next season,
Hmm.
that's why he isn't my six, mainly.
Yeah.
Obviously he's
Okay.
getting old, but he still is like a top tier QB. He's still got that clutch gene. He can still throw in the pocket. He's still like he can still read downfield. He's like still generally one of the best QB performers in the clutch,
Yeah.
no matter what. The Rams, like the way they made a resurgence to like force their way into the playoffs and then be the only team that actually gave the Eagles a real scare
Yeah.
for a team that just dominated every other round like that. Obviously, for that team, it was also the defense. And then the Eagles had like some uncharacteristic plays. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was it? Two dropped interceptions, AJ
Yeah.
Brown drop passes,
It
Jalen
was a
Hurts wasn't
snowy
fully
game,
healthy.
and
Yeah,
yeah, and there was those incidents like those errors both ways, and yeah, Hurts if Hurts didn't get hurt in that game,
yeah,
he probably he doesn't take that safety first of
yeah,
all, but
they dog walk on them. Let's be honest. But you know what I'm saying? We still see that clutch gene. We still see him do what he did. Like he won a Super Bowl not that recently at this point, which is kind of crazy to think about.
yeah,
But like that's still a guy in my eyes who's like you have to consider him when you're talking about your top 10 QBs.
you got to respect him.
He still had some pretty decent passing stats.
There's some throws that he makes that no one else can do.
Exactly. Like, and
Um,
then when you think about it, he probably does have the best wide receiver duo in the league going into next year.
one of yeah, Puka Nakua is genuinely like a
Oh my
guy.
God, he's been so good, and I don't know why people don't talk about it.
I feel like a lot of it might be it's like he's not what you typically see as like a 1A wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's just it's like so like this guy came out of nowhere. He wasn't this huge prospect coming out of college.
Mm-mm.
It's like it's just not typically what you see, and it's
Yeah.
just like he's unbelievable. Like
He
his hands are insane. He has some of the craziest catches we've
like
we've
that
we've
that
seen,
fucking that catch against the Eagles. Oh my God. I thought
and
it
he
was
makes
over.
those routinely.
Yeah.
It's
Like
it's not like there's like once in a lifetime catches where he's like, oh my god, but it's
uh,
like he makes these, man.
he's
He's
he's he's
ridiculous.
so good. And they also have a running game. Kyron Williams is super underrated. One of the best
Hmm.
running backs in the
Touchdown
league.
machine.
Like seriously, one of the best defenses in the league too. It's That's a very good team, and I think he's like very much. I don't think he's the best player, obviously, on that team, but he's in the most important position.
Yeah. Another thing when I'm talking about like he's not typically what we see, he's like a slot guy,
Yeah.
right? And when we talk about slot guys that are like top of the league, like the best guys you're seeing is like a Cooper Cup or
Hmm.
like a JSN these days. Who there are some other guys that I know, but off the top of my head, he's not like, but he can be the outside guy too, as we see. So he just do it all, and then you throw Devonte Adams out in there, and it's like,
Wait, when I said not the best player on the team, I meant Matt, not Puka.
oh yeah yeah yeah
Okay, okay. No,
yeah.
I'm just making sure. I was like, because I
So
think.
yeah, but back to Stafford, it's like he when I look about quarterbacks that are like
Hmm.
in the top, can you make plays that like it's an eye test for me when I'm watching.
Hmm.
Do I gotta be like, man, I've never seen anyone do that, or like only he can do that in those situations. I mean, like the prime example is in the Super Bowl, when he does the no look pass.
I
Like
know
he,
he's
he does that all the time, where he's just like his vision. He has the best
is
vision in the league.
yeah.
Like just his ability to see the field, and that's why he's been able to be good for this long, because
Hmm.
even though maybe he's not as mobile as he was, not that he was ever like super mobile, but like his
Hmm.
ability to create is because he has eyes all around his head. And like
Yeah,
he sees stuff that like you're not supposed to see, and it's able to fake out defenses, because when they're following your eyes, you can't follow his eyes because he'll just
it'll just make you look kind of stupid.
yeah.
And
So it's stuff that it's intangible stuff that you can't like teach and doesn't show up on a stat sheet that
yeah,
makes these guys up here. And it's like last year I probably had him top five. I had like there were times I had him top five, but it's like okay, now he's 36, and these young guys are getting better, so it's like okay. But it's like
it's like
I
yeah.
I definitely when we start getting these like past the seven, it's like a lot of these guys have top
Yeah,
five
around
quarterbacks.
this thing, it's like these guys are really getting close to each other. Like obviously, I think there are some gaps with certain guys, but also at the same time, it's like if you throw out a really good argument, I wouldn't be mad at certain
Yeah,
places.
agreed. All right, number six. Let's hear it.
Right, number six. All right. This is pretty obvious for me. Jaden Daniels is my number
Okay.
six. Obviously, the sophomore slump could kick in. Like he could just not be that good this season, which is like very like that is a thing that could happen. But I think just like even with Washington, like who they played, I remember we had the graphic going around where it was like they had like what no wins or something crazy against like over 500 teams. It wasn't no
Yeah.
wins, was it? It might have
Yeah.
been.
I don't remember specifically, but
Yeah,
I yeah.
yeah, but even then, it's like the talent, the eye test, like everything just kind of says it for itself. This is a league that's going towards more of the dual threat QB, and he is like the perfect rookie for that.
Yeah.
He's been able to make he's quickly became he's became like a top three scrambler in the league already
Oh yeah. He's
in my eyes.
he's up there. He's up there
Like
with like Kyler with he's not Lamar, but he's in that.
Kyler, you motherfucker. God
Let's
damn
go.
you.
Let's go, bro.
You and this fucking midget, man. I can't I can't stand you and this midget, man. Oh my God.
I'm gonna Kyler jersey, man. I'm gonna get it.
Oh
I'm gonna
man.
wear it on the pod,
God.
man.
I'm gonna burn it, man. I'm gonna burn it
You
through
do
the
that, man.
camera. But yeah, that obviously his ability to make plays out of nothing, you know what I'm saying? His ability to extend plays, I feel like people don't talk about it as much because they kind of just putting him with his scrambling.
Hmm.
But I think he's also just a great playmaker in general. He has a good arm.
Yeah,
He's a great arm, actually. He's able to see the field pretty well, actually, in my eyes. I think he's had like obviously some blunders, and he's not perfect, but he's also a rookie.
yeah.
So people don't
That's
think
only
about
get
the
better.
fact that
He's gonna
he's
get
gonna
better.
get better.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like he's a great player, and kind of mad that he's in our division.
I agree.
It's he's one of those guys where I just think he's gonna just continue to get better. Like I wouldn't be surprised if in not even a couple years, but maybe like a year or two, we're talking about
Hmm.
him like closing in on that top three.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's very top three would be tough, but
Top
just
three will be
because
tough, but
I think he can def be in there. Um, yeah, we've talked a lot about Daniels. I think he's great, and I think it's just about proving yourself and doing it
yeah,
again.
do it again. Yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah.
and their offensive line got better, so
Hmm.
the Larry Tunsil trade I think was great for him.
Oh yeah.
They gave
Oh
up a
yeah.
lot, but
Yeah, but
I think he works there for sure.
yeah.
My number six is Justin Herbert. That's where I have Justin Herbert.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, we talked a lot about Herbert,
Hmm.
and we've been talking for a while, so I don't want to spend harp too much on him. But like I said, um, insane talent, insane
Hmm.
athlete. He's got the numbers in the regular season to show it. Once he shows that he can win when it matters, he's gonna be at 4 or 5
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. I
Um,
can agree with you on that too. Like
so
he doesn't even
yeah,
have to be
that's
in the Super Bowl this year, honestly. He doesn't even have to
yeah,
do all that. Like, if he makes a run to the second round and he just plays good, I'm very okay with this. I'm
yeah,
actually okay with this position here, honestly. I think this is a good position as well. Obviously, as much as I hate on him, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he's not a great
yeah,
player.
right, yeah. I get the criticism, which I gave him a little knock. Like there are some guys in in the top five that aren't as talented as him, but
Hmm.
they're able to put together, and I'm excited to see it from Herbert, man. So yeah,
Yeah.
go. Let's hear your five.
Yep. This is where people have actually been waiting for. We know this is like this is the actual
I
discussion here.
We might have the same guy here, but maybe
We
not.
might.
Actually,
We might.
I know who your guy here is.
Yeah, I think you do. Um, Before I start, I did want to say the top five is really very damn near interchangeable at times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
Like, like I have guys that I'm much more sure about where they are, but also it's like this guy has shown that he's very much just on the same level as him. This is not a one gap, two gap, three gap, four gap, five gap. This is a one, two, three, four, five type of thing in my eyes.
yeah.
So my guy here is Joe Burrow.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, obviously the passing numbers are ludicrous. The yards, the touchdowns. He's one of the best passers we've ever seen. You know what I'm saying?
He- if his team was good, he would be MVP.
Exactly. He would have won MVP and by a landslide too. But
Yeah,
also, but also it's at the same time, it's a thing of his team was in such shootouts so much that I do think his numbers look a lot crazier because of that.
yeah. I mean, his defense forced him to do a lot
Yeah.
more.
So it was like he's like in my eyes kind of like the opposite of Jalen Hurts. Like where we'll see teams like kind of play methodical and kind of like they would rather have like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
That's more of go score because you know their defense
I
isn't going to
mean,
be able to hold up.
Burrow has Higgins and Chase, which are like,
Yeah. He's got
and you have
one of the
Burrow.
best
Yeah,
one
like,
two punches ever. Like
yeah. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's crazy. The fact that he has a wide receiver that people could consider better than Justin Jefferson,
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
he's top two, and he might not be two.
And he might
Like,
not be too, and
and
that's the craziest part. So
then T Higgins is top 15,
yeah,
like
like
something like that.
that's like a what, a top three wide receiver two in the league?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
them, the Eagles, or the Rams probably.
Yeah, yeah. Vikings are there too, I guess, but
Vikings, yeah, up there
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Addison is a little bit of drop off from the two guy, but
yeah.
he's cool too. But
But
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Joe Burrow, my I definitely do have some issues with him. I think people haven't talked about his availability as a thing
yeah,
too. Um, but the talent is it's there. And obviously, as I said, he's this is not a he there's a gap between him and everybody else. There's a gap between him and the bot and everybody under him,
yeah,
but there's not a gap between him and the guys I have over him.
yeah. I think me with the injury thing is it matters, but it only matters to me if it leaves question marks of who you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like if you're hurt so much where I don't know how to evaluate you because I just
Hmm.
haven't seen enough of sample size in a stretched amount of time, that's where it's tough.
Hmm.
Um, I know what Joe Burrow is,
Yeah,
and
we know this guy
like,
is amazing. Like, oh my
yeah,
God.
it's like I can I I have I have Burrow soon, so I'll just say my piece about Burrow. It's he led one of the most prolific offenses last year.
Hmm.
Um, Whenever you're gonna have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase is gonna be triple crown candidate,
Yeah,
which is
easily.
absurd. Like triple crowns used to not be this common. Now we're seeing just everyone
Now we're
get
just seeing it.
and it's like uh your Thunder's whooping tail over here.
Oh my God.
Um
I have the game paused. I really want to watch it, but fuck it.
okay,
Whatever.
I'm gonna I'm gonna stop
Whatever.
talking.
Whatever.
Um
I'll watch it later. I'll watch it without the commercials. I don't like
Shea
that
just
face.
destroyed Matherin's ankles but didn't finish it.
Uh, ah.
Like,
I'm gonna take that jersey down, yo. Keep playing with
Matherin was
me.
hands and knees on the ground.
No way.
He was bowing to him and he couldn't finish it.
He's
Um,
bowing to the man.
um, um, but yeah,
Yeah.
just unbelievable. Leads prolific offenses. His arm is
Hmm.
insane. He's incredibly mobile.
Hmm.
Don't talk about it, but his ability
Yeah,
to
it's
extend the
crazy.
play and just create in the pocket is absurd.
I think his
So
first career touchdown was like a rushing one too. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was seeing
So
that today because they
it's
were posting the
yeah. It's
yeah.
so weird.
He's
People don't talk about it. He's genuinely mobile.
yeah,
Like,
and so I hope he stays healthy because you would hate
hmm
to that part of his game be diminished. But yeah, Joe Burrow, he's that guy.
he's so good.
So yeah, my number five is Jalen Hurts.
I respect that.
And it's like I feel like in the Eagles fan community, I would be
Hmm.
seen as a hater,
Hmm.
um, for putting him at five. But it's like I had him at five before like the Super Bowl run kind of thing.
Exactly.
And it's like number five, like up to field. But as far as like talent goes, it's like I thought like a lot of time I was like being generous and I was like above the noise. But now that the noise is caught up, it's like I look like I'm a hater of Hurts. Hurts is my favorite player in the league. I love Hurts. One an element that I doesn't get talked because like all the question is what is Hurts elite at, right? What
Hmm.
is he great at? And everyone on TV says winning. And while it's true,
Yeah.
it really hurts Jalen's argument when you say the thing he's good at is winning.
Yeah.
Because winning is a team stat,
Hmm.
right? Like the quarterback is the most important to that stat. But when you say winning, you're discrediting what he can do so well.
Exactly.
And I'm not even talking about how he has the best deep ball in the league. Like I I mean, you see clips when he throws, he wants to rip it, but he doesn't have to
Yeah.
rip it, right? So we've seen him where he's been able to throw for 300 yards. Like he can do that.
Hmm.
And he has the weapons too, but we also how we play teams is we suffocate them and we kill them
Yeah.
slowly to where they just can't keep up and we wear them down and then we kick their teeth in. Like that's a Sirianni led team, right?
Hmm.
That's what a Sirianni team and offense and defense brings to you. Now, what I think Jalen Hurts is probably the best at in the league, maybe next to Mahomes, is his pre-snap reads and his
Hmm.
pre-snap audibles and control of the game. When Jason Kelsey retired, there was questions on how we would do in pre-snap formations, pre-snap um, cadences, all that because Jason he did that for a decade. That was his
Hmm.
job, and it was helpful because for a long time we had a rotating door quarterback. But whenever we had
Yeah.
that, we had like Jason Kelsey was a quarterback of the offense. So when Jason leaves, they're like, is it going to be a mess? Is it going to be a
Hmm.
disaster? It was better. it,
Yeah.
it was better. He's better at it than Jason Kelsey. And that's not a knock on Jason. That's just how good Jalen is at it. Um, his rushing ability and his threat to just kill you at the run, not speed wise, but just be like a Derrick Henry at you and just absolutely wear you down. Um, it leaves defenses confused on who to attack when he can. Okay, so you have Saquon Barkley backfield. Jalen Hurts can run outside. You have um, Smith,
AJ,
AJ Brown, Dallas Goddard. Unreal, right?
unguardable.
So it's like defense doesn't have any options, right? So it's like
Hmm.
in the Super Bowl when everyone focuses on Saquon Barkley, Jalen explodes, right? When
Hmm.
Jalen got hurt in that Commanders game, Saquon Barkley looked like a pedestrian. That
Yeah.
game we lost against Washington, when Jalen went down, Saquon looked like a pedestrian.
Yeah.
And that is just what Jalen brings as a threat. Yes, Saquon is an incredible player, but we saw the jump in stats from New York to Philly. And it's
Hmm.
not just the offensive line, it is the quarterback.
It is the
And it
QB.
is his threat. And when I talk about pre snap play calling and the audibles is Jalen can read so well. He knows when he probably knows when Saquon has a touchdown before he touches the ball. He
Oh
can
yeah,
read
we've
it.
seen it, and we've
He
seen.
yeah, we see it all the time, and we see when there's like intentional quarterback draws drawn for Jalen Hurts, it doesn't work as well. But when Jalen's about is able to dissect it and know when he should run, even when it's not played, then he's got it because he can read it so well.
Hmm.
And then he knows when he's going to have AJ Brown on a go route.
Yeah.
Um, it makes our offense incredibly tough to stop, and that is why I have it's his arm strength, it's his
Hmm.
decision making, which even could get better. I think it could get better. It's his
Hmm.
mobility. He's a top five quarterback, and
Yeah.
he wins a hell of a lot of games. He
Yeah.
rarely loses. His record is absurd. He
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
lose. Um, and so yeah, he's my top five quarterback.
I can respect that.
So who's your four?
My four is Lamar Jackson.
Ooh,
But I want to say this, I want to preface this. He is my 3A, 3B.
okay,
It's like I put him at four just for the sole purpose that I felt it'd be kind of weird if I just had two threes instead of just a four.
yeah,
Um, as far as talent goes, yo, that's number one right there. As far as just
yeah,
pure like just talent goes, he's watching him is like watching an alien play football. It's like watching if people just kind of made a robot, just builds off of
yeah,
what makes somebody good at being a QB and just put it into a person. We've seen him. He makes like some of the most ridiculous plays using his feet, and not just that,
yeah.
using his arm. He has some of the best arm talent in the league. The way he's able to get the football out quickly, crazy. He's able to see the
Mhm.
field well. He does everything well for a QB. But what kind of makes me down here is less that he's not good enough in my eyes to be number one, but there's certain things that the guys that I have above him just do better.
Okay,
Um,
yeah,
Obviously we've seen Lamar Jackson. Obviously we hear all this stuff about him. Oh, he can't throw. He's not a real QB. You know what I'm saying? Which that's not even like real. Like those aren't real arguments against him. It's
Yeah,
like it's just borderline, like you're just being stupid. Um, there's just certain things, but that's less against him in my eyes. He has the regular seasons, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And even though his postseason success isn't where it really should be for how good he is and how good the Ravens teams have been, like obviously I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like his weapons have been as good as the other guys in the top five.
right,
Well, maybe except for Josh Allen, but
right.
that's like, but that's not against them. But it's like his team, he's had great defenses we've seen. He's had like good things around him. So it's more of like it's less of him and more like I just want to see more from him in that postseason. You know, I want to see him
Yeah,
cut down on the turnovers because that's what we saw with the Eagles and the Chiefs when they made the Super Bowl. The thing that separated them from everybody else wasn't like, oh, they scored like 50 more touchdowns than everybody else,
it
right?
was a turnover,
Exactly. We
and
saw
that's another thing to
Lamar.
the Hurts argument. He takes care of the ball.
Exactly. My thing with Lamar is I'm not gonna blame like the end of the game on him against the Bills. Obviously, that's not his fault. He sat there and marched his team up the field twice.
If Mark Andrews catches the ball, the conversation we're having about Lamar Jackson is very, very
Exactly.
different.
But if you remember back earlier in that game, costly turnovers, certain
Yeah,
stuff, we see
yeah,
him, we see him sometimes people say he tries to do too much, which leads to the potential for a much worse situation happening than if he just maybe threw the ball away or took the first read
yeah,
sometimes. But I'm not going to put that against him. As far as talent goes, he's there. He's the best rushing quarterback of all time in my
yeah.
eyes. I
Hands
think he's
down,
just the best running
hands down.
QB ever. I don't think it's a conversation anymore.
It's not close. It's not
It
close.
hasn't been a conversation for like 2 years at this point.
Yeah, I think people get into nostalgic talk with Michael Vick.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
Michael Vick was great, but he wasn't doing what Lamar Jackson's doing.
But Lamar Jackson is like better than like some of the great running backs in this league.
Yeah,
Like
literally.
he's legitimately that good.
Like people would like say Lamar Jackson running back insult, right?
Mhm.
Ravens legit have two top three running backs, and one of them is also a top three quarterback.
And
Like
one of
that's
it's like he's just that good.
yeah,
He's like it's crazy. He's just too talented in my he's too
yeah,
talented for his postseason success not to be there. But I do think that's gonna catch up this year. I think this time next year we'll be talking about him in the top two because he's my pick for to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Because
yeah.
I think his Super Bowl run is long overdue. As far as
He's
talent
due.
goes,
He's due.
it's
He's
due.
due.
It's due. He's here and Lamar Jackson is that guy. So he's my
Yeah.
four, but treat it as a 3A, 3B type of thing.
Okay. My four is Burrow.
Okay. I respect that.
And I talk about Burrow, so we're not gonna harp on that. We talked plenty about Burrow. Who's your three?
My three is Jalen Hurts. That was my 3A, 3B type of guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go into my one and two. Obviously, you already talked extensively on Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We've seen it. As far as the big games go, he is the best QB in the league.
Yeah.
Like
I
Patrick
don't. Yeah.
Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar, they haven't played as well as him in the best games. We see people talk about, I see it brought up a lot. Oh, he's never thrown for over 4,000 passing yards or shit like that. Thing is, like and he's in my eyes the opposite of a guy like Dak Prescott is,
Yeah.
or opposite of a guy like Justin Herbert is. Not to rag on Justin Herbert, that sounds wrong. But me and you talked about this. He's the anti-social media QB. Like he's the QB that the casual fan will hate on the most. But as far as
He's
like the intangibles go, as far as everything goes, he's one of one. Obviously, we talk
he's
about
like
the
if
best deep
man,
ball, all
but
that.
it's like if Jalen Hurts didn't have this, if
If
Jalen
yeah,
Hurts didn't have
exactly.
that.
Every single one of his detriments always starts with, well, if he wasn't on the Eagles, if he didn't have AJ Brown, if he didn't have Saquon Barkley, you know, it's
It's
never a
like if
thing
Joe Burrow
actually
didn't
against him.
have Jamar Chase, and
Exactly.
it's like let's be consistent here. Yeah, no,
Let's be
I'm
consistent.
with you.
Yeah,
Um,
he's great. You know,
yeah, I
he
think yeah, I think your conversation about Lamar and all them, it makes me rethink my top three here.
Mm,
Um, because my three is Josh Allen,
I respect that.
but my two, like he could, like I would either like I don't care about two or three, right? I'll
Hmm.
just say my two is Lamar Jackson,
Okay, I
my
respect that.
three is Josh Allen,
Okay.
but I probably am leaning at this moment Allen. When I made this list, I was leaning Lamar at two,
Hmm.
but now I'm like, because it's like Lamar probably should have three MVPs,
Yeah,
right? Josh Allen probably didn't have the numbers this year because like what Lamar did was
yeah, it
unreal,
was like fucking stupid. Like what?
and it's
Like
like
we've seen like God.
yeah, he had first of all 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns, four interceptions. It's
Like
like what?
that's what? How did you?
Oh, and then what was his what was rushing yards like? His rushing yards had to be like something crazy.
It was
I don't know. But anyway, insane. I can't find it right now, and I don't want to kill time. But it's like he's just unreal. Let me talk about Josh Allen first, since he's my
mhm,
three. Um, Josh Allen is one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever seen. He does throws when I talk about the eye test where I'm just like, this throw didn't count, but there was the one touchdown. I think it was against the Lions, where
mhm.
he did the chest pass into the end zone for a
Yeah.
touchdown, and I was like, "What makes you do that?" I was like,
He's so-
he has that like psychopath in him,
Yeah.
and it's like where, and it's why he like has higher interception numbers, which he didn't really have this year.
Yeah, he was
But
really good with keeping the ball like from the other team. That's good. It was
and I'm surprised you had Josh Allen. You noticed it because it in past years you've been low on Josh Allen.
oh yeah.
Um, but like he does these throws where like he's going off to like the right of the sideline. He's throwing across his body and throwing a dime 40 yards down the field. I'm like, how do you have arm for that? He is the
It's
biggest
like
arm in the league, and he's accurate.
and
He's
he's
just
six
ridiculous.
he's like 6'5", 6'6".
He's
Fucking
ridiculous.
beast of a guy.
And it's like is due for a Super Bowl, but Josh Allen, I think he's closer.
Yeah.
Like, I think I think he really has it, and I'm like very upset for him that they weren't able to beat the Chiefs because
Hmm.
man, it's like
Man.
that like we deserve the Josh Allen Jalen Hurts duel. We really
Yeah. We
we
really do.
really
We've
did.
seen it happen. It was amazing the last time those two
That
played
was one
against
of the
each other.
best games um we've seen. I mean,
Yeah.
like that was that year. That was the last time I was happy. That year was that game.
Dude, I thought
Um,
Jalen was winning MVP, Super Bowl MVP. I was like, yeah, he's number one.
like
And then it
quarterback,
all
that
went
was one of
down.
Jalen's best years. But like our defense became the worst defense to ever play football. So
God.
it's like then he had the Joe Burrow situation.
My guy should have been
Um,
sitting on three, on two, on like what, two MVPs, three Super Bowl MVPs
that year was
by this
criminal,
point.
man.
Man.
Um, so yeah, that's and then Lamar Jackson. You talked about Lamar Jackson. Yeah, we talked about Lamar Jackson. He's
Yeah.
unreal. I mean,
Unreal. Just
what is there
absolutely.
more to say?
Yeah.
Um, so your two is
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Okay. Do you have anything
Um,
more to say about Josh?
um, not too much. Obviously, as you said, I've been low on him in the before, you know what I'm saying? But it's like a thing of just like when you look at what he's done, like obviously, as I said, he has, as far as talent goes, he's right there after Lamar in my eyes. He's one of the best rushers in the league too, as a QB. His arm talent is ludicrous, and we've seen in the playoffs, it's never been a thing of him why they've been losing to the Chiefs, like outside of
Yeah.
that one year when they lost to the Bengals. But the Bengals also had one of the best defenses in the league that year. People don't talk about.
Right.
Um, Josh Allen, he's just consistently shown he can go bat to bat with Patrick Mahomes every time. Like I remember when you look at their stats from when they play against each other, it's literally this. every time.
It's
They're like
always
it's never about who played better, but it's always about who had the
who
ball
has the
last.
ball last.
Exactly. Or the Chiefs devil magic just kicked in and
Yeah,
something happened, you know? And it's like it sucks because it really does feel like he should have a Super Bowl ring by this point. Or not even just a ring, at least an appearance
right.
by this point. So he's just in my eyes, just a ludicrous talent. He has the play, he is a playoff riser. I haven't said
Yeah,
that about the other guys, even though they are. Everybody in this top five is a playoff riser in my eyes.
like I trust any of these guys in the top
Yeah,
five to play in the playoffs for me,
yeah. And
no
he
doubt.
is consistently, he's been a playoff riser. He's that good.
Yeah. Um, I think like Josh Allen, like it's so tough to top in the rankings Patrick Mahomes,
Hmm.
but it's like he genuinely like it'll take like one amazing season, and beating Mahomes in the playoffs to be like,
Yeah,
because like the head to head matchup kills Josh because like he just hasn't got on top in the
yeah,
playoffs, but it's close, and I
yeah.
assume our ones are
Our ones
Patrick
are
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. He's like the
Um,
LeBron of the league.
yeah,
There's not much I can say. I want to put Josh Allen. I want to put Jalen over him. I want to put Lamar over him. You know what I'm saying? But I can't.
yeah. I think the thing that separates him is he's gone 3 years now without like an elite downfield threat,
Hmm.
and he has carried teams and won Super Bowls.
Exactly.
And now he's getting these threats. He's having them now. And
Hmm.
we're seeing like um Watson and these guys just like they're gonna be good, and like Xavier Worthy, like these guys are gonna be. I mean, we saw Xavier Worthy in the Super Bowl. Like
Yeah.
he was the only one that came to play
Yeah.
for them. It's gonna be interesting. Travis Kelsey,
I think he
it's
stays
just
for this one last year, but
yeah, he's just not.
he's just
It's
not
not
that
the
guy
same.
anymore.
He's
Yeah.
so slow, and
Yeah.
it's not the so it's gonna be interesting to see how he adapts to his safety blanket not being the same safety blanket,
Hmm.
and hopefully these wide receivers can take a little pressure off of that. But until I've seen otherwise, I can't
I
put
can't not put him there.
Pat
It's
down.
like, and it's not
I
even like
can't.
he doesn't, it's not even like a thing of, oh, he's only good in the playoffs. No, he's had like 50 touchdown seasons, 5,000 passing yards
When he had
in
Tyreek
the,
Hill, he was like 50, he was a
it was like,
shoe in for 50
it was like,
touchdowns.
it's like, how did he just do that?
Yeah,
It's like, that is the most, I don't want to say it, but that is the most talented quarterback of all time right there.
yeah. Like, and I found Patrick Mahomes like I know I miss ripping the ball downfield, but he's not been able to do that in 3 years.
Hmm.
Like to just like, cause like those first years of his career, he was this gunslinger. It was just, and
Yeah.
now he's like it's dink and dunk, but he's the best methodical quarterback in the league as well as one of the best gunslingers. And it's like that was like the thing that got me nervous for the Super Bowl because it's like
Hmm.
okay, they're the best methodical offenses in the league. We are really good at stopping explosive plays, but the
Hmm.
methodical play has killed us.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this where? But then it ended up we just blew up their whole scheme,
Yeah.
um, and just ended it. But that's where I was genuinely nervous when it came to the Super Bowl. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like
Yeah.
what can you say? And
He's crazy.
until yeah, until I see otherwise, he's gonna be
Yeah.
one.
There's
Um,
no good reason not for him to be one at this point.
yeah, it's like we say the gap gets closer every time, but it's like next year we're
It's
probably gonna be in the same spot.
yeah,
Like if
it's
we're
gonna be one.
realistically speaking, we're
He's gonna be
probably gonna be saying the same thing.
he could get bounced by like CJ Stroud in the first round next year. And I still might it's not gonna happen. He could get bounced in the first round next year. I generally still might keep him at one.
Yeah, I mean it's all about how, right?
Yeah,
It's all about
yeah.
how.
Um, yeah, he's just it's crazy. I think the fact that the offense is kind of leaned against his like crazy playmaking ability,
Mhm.
it feels like I think that's like one of the things that I'm not a fan of with the Chiefs right now.
Yeah,
Which obviously it's funny because they're still winning anyways, but it's like it felt like so much of like what made that team so good was the fact that he could like make some bullshit out of nothing.
Yeah, the issue with the Chiefs is gonna be they gotta stop playing with fire
Yeah.
because their defense got worse and
Hmm.
like there was parts of the season where they looked bad.
Yeah.
And we saw the year before too. Their defense was just not it like last the year before that their defense was daunting. Their defense is not that, and they're continuing to lose
Hmm.
pieces on the defensive end. So you gotta. I know you have a lot of money into Mahomes, and it's gonna start kicking in. You can push that down all you want. It's gonna kick in soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it has kicked in, but it's gonna continue to get worse. Um, you got to give him someone to work with.
You got it. You have
You,
to.
it's like you can't keep relying on these things. You can't rely on Travis Kelsey to be 1,000 yard receiver anymore.
Also, exactly that too.
It's it was ugly watching him down the stretch.
Hmm.
It was bad.
It was
Um,
bad.
he should probably retire now, but
He wanted to retire so bad. He if they would have went on the 3P, he would have retired. We know that.
oh for sure,
Easy.
his decline was so like sudden, and it's like
Mm.
it just happened. So
Taylor Swift
it's
is
gonna be
taking his
interesting.
powers. I'm playing.
That's right.
I'm playing. But yeah, they get
That's
in my eyes, they just also can't keep relying on playing like bad QBs in the Super Bowl.
yeah,
I
no,
think that's a thing that people also realize. Like they just played against Jalen Hurts. I want people to think about if with the way that the Chiefs took away Saquon Barkley from that game,
yeah.
if the Eagles passing game wasn't good, that's a close game right there.
Yeah, I mean, the whole game plan was take away Saquon, take away Saquon, take away. It's
It's
like
like,
everyone was saying, if you hold Saquon under 150 yards, the Eagles are gonna lose. He had like 50,
yeah,
and it was an ugly 50.
yeah.
He
He
was
had like 50 on like
bad.
20 attempts. That's not
Yeah,
good.
if he didn't have that catch on third down, he wouldn't have a highlight in the game.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he just wasn't that good in that game.
because they sent the house at him, and
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts was like, "Okay, thank
Okay.
you."
Which always confused me because last time they played, Jalen Hurts gave them like damn near 400 yards too, which
Right.
is like
When our
it's
running
not.
game was Miles Sanders, who had 14 yards.
I was like, so I always wanted to ask somebody about that. I was like, does nobody else like think that's crazy that they like any other team I can respect selling out to stop Saquon, but you're the one team that has seen this.
Yeah, it's like we gave you the blueprint, and you knew if Jalen Hurts doesn't have that fumble earlier in the game, you lose.
If the defense doesn't just implode, you
Yeah,
lose.
you
It's
lose.
like
The defense was better. It was a better defensive coordinator. It was better
hmm,
defensive personnel. Um,
like
Quinion
miles better.
Mitchell was better than James Bradbury, right? It's like
Jesus, bro, if you take any of the good defensive players from this year's team and put them on the 2022, that's a blowout right there.
imagine
That's
Jalen
hilarious.
Carter on that team.
Jalen Carter, Zach Bond, Q, Reed. God, you put any of those guys, just one
Coop.
of them, like any of those
Avonte
guys.
Maddox was our starting nickel.
Like,
Yeah, it's
God.
ridiculous. So that's our, I'm gonna read my top 10, and then
Hmm.
you can read your top 10, and we just have
Yeah.
them full. I'll probably make a graphic, and then if we create an Instagram, I'll put a little graphic on there for our top 10.
Yay.
All right, so my top 10 from 10 to 1 is Kyler Murray, CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. And my top 10 was from 10 to 1 is Justin Herbert. Was it Baker Mayfield, CJ Stroud, Matthew Stafford, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and then Patrick Mahomes. Any changes you
Yeah,
think about making, honestly, after this? Because I think I got like maybe one or two.
I probably put Allen in too.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that, I'm pretty confident with mine.
Hmm.
But at the
Okay.
moment, I'm probably leaning Allen too. How about
Mhm.
you?
Um, Man, I'm leaning more Hurts too, the more that I think about it,
Okay,
honestly. And then moving Justin Herbert up to probably like 6
6.
or 7, 6 or 7. Yeah.
Okay,
And moving
I
Stafford
respect
down.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not all hate.
Yeah, I'm not all hate. I'm not all hate. I respect the talent when it shows, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um, I, I, I realized something that we didn't say in the beginning. Our name is Dorm Talk with John and Chris,
yeah.
Chris and John, whatever. But the you're probably like, why is this a name of a sports show? And our we knew that we were probably meant to do a podcast when we roomed together in college,
Mhm.
and we would have conversations up to 2 or 3 a.m. talking about
Just
hoops, ball, superheroes, hypothetical situations, and hopefully some episodes we'll get into just talk about random shit.
yeah.
Um,
Sometimes we could
uh,
just get in front of the mic and just speak.
yeah. So like we don't even have to do like just like a sports podcast, but we just have a lot to say, and I feel like if a lot of these people were saying this stuff, like our opinion can't be that bad, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not gonna be the worst opinion you hear. I swear.
trust me, trust me. Some people have Baker Mayfield as a top four quarterback.
I've seen
Um,
Dak Prescott at number six. It
sheesh.
gets pretty bad.
Um, I think Dak's a good quarterback, but
I think
man,
he is. But number six, ooh, scary.
yeah, he could easily get back in my top 10. But
Nah, he's a cowboy. I'm putting him further down.
that's fair. That's
If
fair.
he has a good season, I'm
That's
gonna
fair.
actually put him further.
I respect it.
I'm gonna put him
Cowboys
under
tax matters.
yeah,
Cowboys tax should matter for everyone.
exactly. I'm gonna put him under Sam Darnold. I'm gonna put him under Jalen Milroe. Player. Uh,
Oh
but yeah,
man.
but
All
yeah,
right, we're gonna get out of here. I don't even know how long this is running, but we had good conversation
you've
for
been here for
episode
a while.
one. We've been here for a while.
Yeah,
Good stuff. If you stuck all the way, shout out to you.
I know, right?
Um,
Thank you. Uh,
um, yeah. So we'll see you next week. We're gonna do another ranking, and we'll talk about some more basketball. Well, what do you do next week? Wide
that
receiver,
is a
running
good
back,
question. We should do wide receiver.
wide
Yeah, right.
receiver. All right,
Yeah, I think so.
come
Yeah.
come back, come back next week for wide receivers. Hopefully, this will come out around Monday evening, depending on when I get to this, and when we get to editing and stuff.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna have a lot of fun editing what is like 3 hours of footage. No, it's like
oh,
two.
it'll be great. Yeah. I'm not gonna edit too much. There's one spot that I'm gonna edit, but that's about it. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Any
I'm
any last words? Any last
I'm
words?
Media Talks or Chris. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm gonna be going into this more, man.
Yeah, I'm
Shout out to
excited.
my guy Straight Up Sports or John. He's awesome. Best podcaster I know, and thank you guys for
Let's
watching.
go. Let's go. All right. We'll see you next week.
I'll see you guys.